Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I will be doing the Bujin archetype. This is a deck that actually saw some very niche competitive play a while ago. When I say a while ago, I mean 2010s. But that being said, it's super fun. It's based around your Beast Warriors that spam the field, your Winged Beast that are kind of like hand traps, but worse, and your beasts, which have great effects in the graveyards. It's an Xyz focused deck, so of course there are some challenges that come with that, but it doesn't stop this from being a super fun deck to play at a locals, or if you just want to have some jank duels. Without further ado, let's hop right in. Starting off with the best starter they have, which is Bujin Torfune. This is a Rescue Rabbit-esque card. Attribute this special 2 Bujin monsters with 2 different types from your deck in defense position. When you Xyz summon a Bujin Xyz monster while this card is in your grave, equip this card to it. Any monster destroyed by battle with that equipped monster is banished. This is your starter. You want to null summon him, tribute him, and then usually your targets are a Mahitotsu and a turtle. So that you can start getting those into rotation. Fantastic starter for the deck. It's a Beast Warrior, so it is searchable with cards like Tenki. So fantastic legacy support for this archetype. Another good piece of legacy support for the archetype is Bujin Mahitotsu. Fun fact, if you had never noticed it, Torfune resembles Pegasus, or not Pegasus, Neos. Elementary Neos, actually a lot, and Mahitotsu resembles Pegasus, which is really cool. I don't know if the other Beast Warrior Bujins are meant to resemble anyone. If they do, let me know in the comments. Mahitotsu is also a Beast Warrior, meaning he's one of your starters. The Beast Warriors are usually the ones you want on field, so you can go into your powerful Xyz monsters. Mahitotsu has the effect, you can send one other Bujin card from your hand to the grave to special this card from your hand. You can activate one of these effects. You can send a Bujin monster from your hand to the grave to add a Bujin monster with a different name from your grave to your hand. Or, you can banish a Bujin monster from your grave to send a Bujin monster with a different name from deck to grave. You can only use the summoning effect and the other effects once per turn. So that being said, you can use both effects if you can get 2 Mahitotsus on board, which is possible. If you open one and open Torfune, you should be able to get both effects off. But really, you want that second effect, where after you summon it off the Torfune, you can banish the Torfune to send something useful, like a turtle, or even a hare to the graveyard. Really great, another kind of extender for the deck. Third extender for the deck is Bujin Hirume. Cannot be null summoned or set, must be special summoned by banishing a Bujin from your grave. If this card was summoned this way and destroyed by an opponent's card by battle or card effect and sent from your side of the field to your grave, both players have a hand. You can discard a card to make your opponent discard a card. You're rarely using that second effect. You're gonna special this out and immediately use it for an Xyz summon. That's really its whole purpose in the deck, is that it's a free summon, but it is a great card. Once again, really good extension for this deck. The last Beast Warrior you play are 2 copies of Hiruko. I've seen some people run 3. I'm more a fan of 2. It's a normal monster while it's on field, but it's a pendulum. So while it's in your pendulum scale, you can banish this card, target a Bujin Xyz, to change it into a different Bujin Xyz. Usually I do this after having a Tsukiyomi on board, and change that Tsukiyomi into a Susanoo or a Amaterasu, depending on how much more extension I want. But he's a great, once again, just kind of an extender for the deck. So that's it for the Beast Warriors. Moving on to the Winged Beast, which are more like your pseudo hand traps for the deck. We play 3 copies of Bujinji Crane. During damage calculation, if your Beast Warrior Bujin monster attacks an opponent's monster, you can send this card from your hand to the grave. The attack of your monster becomes double its original attack during this damage calculation only. So that means that if you use it on your Bunjeti Susanoo, it'll go up to 24, or not 24, it'll go up by 24 to 48, which is a pretty massive number. It's also not a once per turn, so you can keep using them each damage step, but it does set the attack, meaning that you can't just Bujin Crane, use the second one on the same attack, because it just won't gain any attack. But it is a decent card. Then you play 3 copies of Peacock. This is honestly a horrible card, but if you end up getting in a situation where you just have your Susanoo and Peacock in hand, you can discard Peacock during main phase 2 to add a Bujin monster from deck to hand. However, you're locked into Bujin cards for the rest of the turn. Like I said, horrible card. Absolutely horrible. But there are situations where it comes up. We do play 1 Ibis. This gives your monsters piercing, so if your opponent tries to hide behind a wall, you have Ibis to punch into them and deal damage. Moving on to the beasts. All of these you want in the graveyard for their effects. Starting off with 3 Turtle. During your player's turn, when a card or effect is activated that targets a Bujin monster you control, banish this card from your grave, negate the effect. That's right, Bujins have an effect, negate, and it is a turtle in the graveyard. So usually you want this guy chilling in your graveyard. Then we play 2 copies of Bujinji Hair. During either player's turn, banish the card from your grave. Then target 1 Beast Warrior Bujin you control. Once during this turn, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Pretty good. It's protection, once again. This deck does like a King of the Castle kind of playstyle, where you summon Susanoo or another one of your XCs and just kind of sit on it and protect it at all costs. So it's not horrible. I keep it at 2 because it's not as useful as it could be, but it's still pretty decent. 2 Centipede. While it's in the grave, if you control a Beast Warrior Bujin type monster, banish this card to MST. That's it. You could play regular MST, but this is also a monster that can give you other uses if you need it in the grave. I do play 1 Fox. It's Karibo. Banish this card from your grave, send a Bujin monster from hand to the grave. You take no damage this turn. Decent card. You do only play 1 of it because you're rarely going to need the second one. Moving on to the spells. One of the reasons why this deck saw so much play, Bujin Carnation. If your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, target a Bujin monster in your grave, and one of your banished Bujin monsters, summon both. They cannot be used for an XC summon, except for the XCs of a Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast. This card's insane. Any other deck, it would probably be in a little more, trouble on the ban list, but this card's nuts. Definitely a 3 of. It lets you come back when this deck fails to protect your big monster, which it will. 3 Bujin Condescents. While it's on the field, your Beast Warrior Bujins can't be destroyed by card effects except during the battle phase. Once per turn, send a Bujin monster from your hand or face-up field with grave. Target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Negate its effects until the end of the turn. During your end phase, send this face-up card to the grave. Target a Bujin in your graveyard, special summon it. It's okay. It's alright. It's a negate, it gets stuff in your graveyard, and it does give you some protection for your Bujins. I definitely like it at 3, but I could see people wanting it at 2. Of course, 3 tanky. All of your starters are Beast Warriors. Play 3 tanky. Fantastic card. It'll allow you to search on activation. 1 Foolish, just because you want your stuff in the graveyard. Moving on to the traps, we play 3 Bujin Regalia the Sword. When it's activated, you can target a Bujin monster in your grave, add it to your hand, or target a banished Bujin monster and send it to the grave. And send that target to your grave. So you can either cycle 1 from banished to grave, or from grave to hand. So it really depends on what you have in your graveyard as to what you need with the sword. Finally, 1 copy of the Jewel. You can target rank 4 XC's monster you control, equip this card to that target, it gains 300 for each XC's material attached to it once per turn. While this card is equipped to a monster by this effect, you can attach a Bujin monster from your hand to the equipped monster as XC's material. This is another card that you get on Susanoo, and then you sit on Susanoo, getting it bigger and bigger, so you can continue punching. It's a 1-of. You don't really want to play more than 1 of it. Moving on to the extra deck. We play 3 of our boss monster, which is Bunjeti Susanoo. Takes 2 level 4 Bujin monsters. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. Once per turn, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, take a Bujin monster from your deck, either add it to hand or send it to grave. You can only control one Susanoo. Fantastic card. You wanna summon him and then just sit on him, and that's it. Just kind of keep punching in to everything and hoping that eventually your opponent runs out of resources before you do. 2 Tsukiyomi. Takes 2 level 4 light monsters. Once per turn, detach material, send your entire hand to the grave. If you do, draw 2 cards. If this card leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can target level 4 or lower Bujins in your grave up to the number of Xyz materials this card had on the field, special summon those targets. You can only control 1 Tsukiyomi. This is one of your extenders. Again, you want to summon him, use his effect, and then kind of get him off the field. Because you can only control one of him, so if you want to use his effect, you have to cycle through again. We play 2 Amaterasu. It takes 3 level 4 monsters, but normally you're going to summon it off the Hiruko and your Tsukiyomi. During your turn, you can detach material to special a level 4 lower banished monster. Or, during your opponent's turn, detach material to add a banished level 4 lower monster to hand. Mainly use them for that first effect so you can continue extending. For the more generic stuff, we play 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Castel, 1 Time Thief Redoer, Utopia the Lightning, Draco Future line, and of course, 1 Zeus. It's Xyz deck, you gotta play the Zeus. One of the main combo lines that I usually end up doing is if I can get to Torfune, shoot off the Torfune to summon Mahitotsu and a turtle. Then banishing the Torfune to send a copy of Hair to the graveyard. Then overlaying the turtle and the Mahitotsu for Susanoo, detaching for the Susanoo to add a Crane, and ending my turn there. So that leaves you with a Susanoo that can go up to 48 during damage calc with a targeting negate and 1 protection, all from just normal summoning Torfune. If I had more, I could go farther. It really depends on what else you have in that starting hand. But that is all I have for my Bujin deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. This is a very entertaining deck that I enjoy bringing out every once in a while. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a comment and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.